Yo, what is going on and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a very different kind of video. I'll be going over these three mice here. This is the MChose A5, the G3M Pro, and the Project Gaming Sleeper. These are just a couple of mice that I've had laying around that I've been needing to go over, and I just can't put enough hours into any of them. So I'm just going to do a couple of shorter reviews just to go over all of them. So first, I want to go over what I feel like is the most unique mouse out the bunch. This is the Project Gaming Sleeper. I did find this mouse on Amazon a few months back. I did end up selling it, and then they reached out to me to send me a copy to review. So kind of came full circle. So now I have the mouse again. It is a very, very, very unique shape. It's pretty much take the Superlight and then slap the bottom half of the XM2WE on it, and you kind of get that shape. Its profile is very center hump, relatively flat, but because of the side curves here, it's very similar to the XM2WE in hand without the back hump. The best way I can explain it is just having a center hump XM2WE. It does have very deep comfort grooves here, very similar to the Starlight, where your fingers kind of get stuck, pivoted in the middle. And some people aren't a big fan of that. I'm personally not a big fan of that. And I just didn't find myself using this mouse as much as I would like to. The clicks are very tactile and spammy, but they're not, again, they're not the most impressive thing. I think they're using KL 8.0. So this is running a 3370 sensor, but for $50, the performance you're getting with this mouse honestly blew me away. It isn't anything outstanding, but for a fully featured mouse for $50, there's really nothing to complain about. It's stable, it works, and that's all I can really say about it. The shape is something that I can't personally use because I don't claw grip. But if you are a claw grip user and you're on a tight budget, this is definitely a really good pickup. A significantly better pickup than the Rappu VT9 Pro, which has a very similar type of shape, G Pro-esque with a back flare. But I would say that this just performs better overall than that mouse. I could easily recommend the Project Gaming over the VT9 Pro. Next, I want to go over here. This is the MChose A5. This is pretty much probably the most accurate GPX Mini I've ever seen. If you showed anyone this mouse, they would probably think it was a Superlight. It is very small with just as similar features as a Superlight. The clicks, the side buttons, everything feels like you're holding a Superlight if it was scaled down 50%. And that's all I can really say about it, is that if you're looking for a GPX Mini, this is probably your best option. I've had no issues with this in-game, but it does come with 4K. Avoid the 4K. It's the most unstable, terrible, garbage, worst 4K I've ever used in my life. And it's just not good, especially for the dongle not coming with the mouse. It's just not good. But the 1K performance was very standard. It's not something I was super impressed by. But again, same thing with the sleeper mouse. It's 100% passable. It impressed me for it being, I think it's like a $30, $40 mouse, and it's fully functional. It completely impressed me in just the fact that it's a fully functional with zero issues mouse. But fully avoid that 4K dongle. Avoid the 4K. It's not even worth it. The stability was awful. It felt worse than a terribly tuned 3370 with this having a 3395 in it. I just really cannot stress how bad the 4K was. And yeah, that's all I can really say about this mouse. If you're looking for a GPX Mini, this is definitely it. This is probably the best GPX Mini I've touched for the fact that it's like $30, $40. Like I said, it's relatively cheap, and it's a shape that you're familiar with scaled down. And finally, we're going to go on to the mouse I actually put the most amount of hours on. It's not because it has this really cool, like, green transparent look, but it is very, very, very cool for one feature and one feature only, and that is you can mute the clicks. So this is the G3M Pro. This mouse is a very mouse. The performance is decent. This isn't like, again, this is like all the other Chinese mice where it's relatively cheap. I think it's like $50. There's not really much to complain about. The 1K works. Again, surprised me for it being cheap that the 1K was stable, but it's really not hard to get a stable 1K, unlike getting stable 4K. But that's really not what impressed me about the mouse. Everything on it is very, very, very bog standard. This is just your generic HDS Plus clone, and it looks and feels identical to a HDS Plus. Again, with just a little bit of variations on the sidewalls and the width. But if you do have a HDS Plus and you want something in a cool color, to be honest, I think a HDS Plus comes with like 80 different colors anyway. The G3M Pro is there. But like I said, none of those are the reasons why I like the mouse. I like the mouse with this one feature, and is that you can mute the clicks in use. So you can have they have what's called the gaming mode, and then they have the silent mode, It's through this little switch on the bottom, and all it does is there is a platform on the inside of the mouse that there's 2 darter boards inside the mouse that have 2 different switches on it. One is a muted pink dot button switch, and then the main clicks are using Hawaiian pink shell blue dots. So the main clicks feel what you expect out of pink shell blue dots. They're pretty much the go-to standard in every mouse. But when you go into that silent mode, they are a very, very unique sound. It sounds like you're pushing an elevator button, and that's what it feels like. It feels very mushy, but not at the same time. It's a very unique feeling, and I've been using this in pretty much the muted mode the entire time I've had it, and I really just can't see myself not using it in muted mode. Outside of that, it is a fairly standard mouse. Again, $33.95, pink shell blue dot main switches. This is 1 kHz only. I think the weight of it is like 60-something grams. It's a very dense mouse. I did end up doing a battery mod on it with a 250 milliamp hour battery on it. No, I think that's the Pulsar battery in there. I put a 300 milliamp hour battery in there. I think the stock was like 500. It was way too much weight. But yeah, it's just a really nice mouse for that one feature. Outside of that, is this a recommend? If you're looking for a budget Hydus Plus clone and you don't want to get the FleetNets 450 because you don't like the white, this is, again, the second closest you're going to get. But other than that, it's relatively bog standard, and there's not really much I can say outside of that. I really like the muted clicks because they feel super unique and super, like, hard to explain. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a review of the Gravistar M2 coming up. This is definitely going to be one to check out. I have a lot of things to say about the M2. I also have a review of the Keychron M4, another one to look out for. I have a lot of great things to say about this mouse. I actually really like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
After winning, I'm fucked up. She pulled up, so she wanna get bust up. I pulled up, she get it like a bust up. Lay it down and I beat it, I crushed up. Yeah, blood stuff. Yeah.